Hey, Jerry, when you went back and watched the Bears game, what stood out to you about why the offense struggled?
Um, Self-inflicted wounds. We had some penalties that had us behind the sticks. As an offense, you can't play first drive or first down like that behind the stick. So that affected us. And I think the Bears did a good job of disguising their defense. Showing us one look, finishing another. Um, Other than that, yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff that we need to just correct within ourselves to get better.
When you watched that play on film, that pass to you that was intercepted,
Mm.
what could you have done differently to secure that ball better?
What can I have done? I probably, from looking at it, I probably would have said probably like slow played it a little bit instead of like trying to jump into it. Um, Probably like slow play, I guess, lay hands it. That's the only thing I really think of.
Jerry, you mentioned that teams are disguising looks like the Bears did that a lot, where they show like cover zero or whatever, and they
Yeah.
drop into like cover two. How does it make it harder in a passing game, or maybe even as a wide receiver, when they show one thing pre-snap and then they drop it to a completely different thing post-snap?
Sometimes our route change based off looks. Just being able to see those looks during the snap, and also having the quarterback see what you see during the snap too as well. So that's the biggest thing. Just pre-snap, see the look, see the coverage. After the snap, you just got to adjust your route depending on what cover they play.
How do you process what you're seeing what you see from them after the snap, and then how do you adjust your route midstream?
Some routes you adjust, not all of it, not every rep you adjust it. So depending on the route I got, or it just depends on like the coverage, the technique, and the route I have. So it's kind of a hard question to really answer without having a specific detail on that.
One of those things where you just need like time in, like we talk about getting time with Shador, like one of those things where like as you get more film on, just kind of get a feel for what each other is looking at and what they're gonna do.
Yeah, I probably won't say time, just more film and understanding what they're trying to get to overall. I think that's the biggest thing, really. I don't think that's really a timing thing. It's just more understanding, like, they showing the cover one look, but they jump the cover two whole time. But, there's little things like that.
Is the timing and the chemistry between a quarterback and the receivers, is that something that you really can't replicate it too much in practice? Does it sort of have to be learning on the fly each week? You guys hope to get better, but I mean, doesn't it have to be sort of in the heat of the moment?
Getting on time with the quarterback, I feel like it's an everyday thing. It's always something new, always things that you need to adjust throughout the week, depending who we're playing and who we're going against. So, having that communication and having that understanding with your quarterback is going to be a lot helpful. So, it changed throughout the week. It's constantly talking, constantly communicating, and constantly understanding where we want to get.
Kind of along those lines, how important is it to get like real game reps then, that you guys can sit down and watch on film and say, look, I was thinking this here. You can kind of actually see it in a real game and show Shador what you're thinking in a certain situation.
There's just constant communication throughout the media room, throughout practice, and just constantly communicating, constantly trying to pick each other's brain and seeing what we see out there, and just learn from there. That's all you could really do, basically, for real.
Jared, looking at this season, I mean, the division has obviously been so close, and the AFC is close in general. Like, the Chiefs already got eliminated this past week. Like, does that add some frustration for you guys that, like, the wins haven't been able to come and things are just kind of shifting and so wide open week to week?
Of course, it's always frustrating not being able to win games. We come here throughout the off season and throughout the week just to prepare for Sunday to put our best foot forward and win games. When that's not happening, it gets frustrating. So nobody wants to lose. So. Yeah.
What can you do to help Shador, coming off the game that he had, his worst game so far? What can you do as a veteran to kind of also help him boost up and bounce back?
Just tell him, one game don't define who you are. It's part of football. Just don't let that dictate how you come out here and practice and trying to get better each and every week. You know, just keep being who you are and just stay focused and keep the main thing for real.
When you see him throw those 2 deep balls to Isaiah, and he's thrown, a few since he took over the starting role, does that excite you for the ability to open up the offense and get those explosive you guys have been looking for all year?
Yeah, just having the ability to take advantage of those deep shots, it opened up the offense a lot more. Just having defenders not sitting on our route, and not really understanding and not really trying to stop the underneath and have to worry about the deep balls now, so that helps the offense overall. So, we just got to keep hitting on that and keep getting better at that.
Is there something you like about the way he throws that deep ball?
Yeah, it's accurate. Give our receivers a chance to make a play on it.
The Bills, I think, are number 2 in pass defense. What are you seeing from their pass defense as you go in this game?
Just like the past few teams we played, they do a good job disguising. Play a bunch of different coverages. So that's what they're good at right now.
Jerry, we talk so much about patience with a rookie quarterback, and sometimes that can be hard. Does that kind of apply to you guys too, sometimes as receivers, to be really patient with a guy that's maybe got to learn on the job like Jeudy?
Yeah, of course. This is his first year in the league. This his 4th game, 3rd game in the league. So it's all about having the experience. Knowing a young guy that just got into the league, don't really got that much experience under his belt. So you trying to do your best to really, guide him in the right way and just help him throughout the whole process and everything like that. So yeah.
And I think Kevin said that Cedric Tillman should be able to play more this week. I think he only had like 7 snaps last week. How much will that help you guys as a passing game and as a receiving for having him back out there too?
It's gonna help us a lot. Cedric, a big receiver, that do a tremendous job for us in the run game and in contested catches role and making plays for us in the middle of the field. So having him back out there, fully healthy and ready to, play a lot more is gonna help us a lot.